Training is soon. There's a done. Holy smokes. Wow, unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Yes. Alright. Yeah, oh my gosh, guys, sorry about that. But yeah, as I was saying that as I was saying for like the past like 15 minutes worth of the recording where you can hear me, but yeah, so like I said, I got the itch to run Learjet today, so I'm gonna make a little run to New Orleans from Dallas Love Field. So like I said, should be a fairly quick jaunt, about 400 some odd miles. So but yeah, this is the Lear 3.5 and the Freighter trim. So if you look here in the back, there is nothing in it. But we'll change that by and throw a load in there. There we go. And we'll probably go ahead and do like a medium loadout. Front door there. Back up front. These guys are off. So right now we're on external power. So we can go ahead and bring up our avionics and get our flight plan programmed and set. You've got to be kidding me. How in the world is the trainer not working? Wow. Or not. Wow. That is the only downside about to those add-ons that use external programs to run, like Reality XP and freaking Flight 1 750. Like, why is it not? Wow. Holy smokes. Unbelievable. I really just had just one of those nights where you just want to, it's like, you know what? We're just not even going to try it today. We're just going to, just those nights where you just want to turn your computer off and not even use it. Unbelievable. Wow. So tell you what we're going to do. We're going to try to reload this thing from scratch and see if that helps at all. All right, so we got the boot up screen there. Looks like it's working. Like it's working. Okay, cool. No, they're not. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and fire up
system test okay.
Go ahead and fire up at least number 2. Everything else up? Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and fire up number 2 real quick. Oh, lovely. Just one of those freaking evenings, folks. Just one of those freaking evenings. Alright, so go ahead and up on. And Alright, looks like we got good ignition on number 2. I'm going to disengage that starter and wait for number 2 to stabilize, and we'll go ahead and connect the right generator. Alright, so I got the right generator connected. So while that's up and going, go ahead and turn on our primary, secondary inverter. Make sure we're clear. No ground equipment. Alright, cool. I really wish they had an AirNet livery for this model, but they don't for some reason. Which is kind of a bummer, because when you think of a freighter Learjet, the AirNet livery kind of comes to mind, but I guess we can't have our cake and eat it too, I suppose. Alright, so away. Alright, so let's go ahead and dial in this flight plan real quick. And with the help of simbrief.com, that's www.simbrief.com. But yeah, alright, so first of all, go ahead and get some weather. Mm, 3-1, alright, cool. Alright, cool. Alright, so we're Lindry 4. Then from Lindry 4, direct, okay. So, yep, 3-1 left. And direct, okay, so go ahead and go to procedures, departure, down, Lindry 4. And oh heck, I probably should have looked at that before. Zoom here. Looks like we'll be probably favoring 3-1 left today, so low procedures, departure, and I am completely behind the curveball this evening. Lindry 4, ban, what did I say, 3-1 left, yeah. And transition off Lindry 4 will be, I don't think Sawmill will use that guy there, and low departure. Alright, so we got our departure built in there. Now our next waypoint just be a direct to Sawmill, so it'll be Sierra Whiskey Bravo. Enter. Which one do you want? We want the one in Louisiana and not in the UK. Alrighty. And then at that point we'll be hitting LSU. So Tigers. Lima Sierra uniform, throw that in there. And alright, and then that 9, and then we'll get weather closer to the airport, and that'll give us our runway. So we'll go ahead and load the that 9 arrival, and looking pretty smooth. So actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and let's just store that, because the night I've been having is, yeah. Alright, so altitude, so flight level 390. Okay, so go away, bring that up, we'll throw 390 in our altitude selector window. But yeah, it's such a fun airplane to fly, and with the release of that update for the Aerosoft CRJ, I was kind of bummed out, so I needed something to lift my spirits, and hopefully this guy will do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and gotta have your shades on and your David Clark's. Alright, so we'll go ahead and make sure we're clear on the left. And let's go ahead and start number 1. And let's see, bring in the fuel at about 13. There she goes. And normally this one here, I would probably like have set for my like charts or something, and leave this for your safe taxi. I mean, it's really
system test okay.
Oh my gosh, it's loud. I mean, it's really up to you. Whatever makes it easier for you. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a dual 750 setup in real life, but it'd be freaking cool if it was. And if I did have a dual 750 setup, I'd probably run it like this. Alright, so got the left generator up. Stall warning on. Set our pressurization to. I always try to do like 1,000 foot above my cruise altitude. So 30,000. Now go ahead and put 40,000 in there. Cabin air is on. Alright, that's good. That's good. Alright, radar altimeter on. Pitot heat on. Windshield heat on. Or not. There we go. Be honest. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Alright, take off trim. Oops. Alright, should be about right. And let's go ahead and get clearance. We can finally get out of here. Oh my gosh. There we go. Yeah, guys, we're totally not going with the checklist on this one. Alright, so on the Lear, you gotta give it a little bit of breakaway power. Try to get out of there, and then turn on your disengage your steering lock. Try not to hit the building. Good old nice evening trip. A nice thing about it is this Learjet's pretty quick, so we'll eat up 400 miles here, maybe a little over an hour, maybe over an hour. Guy up, and we'll scoot there. I mean, you can kick on the progressive taxi, but I mean, why would you do that when you got this just perfectly good, awesome map right here for your taxi guidance? We'll use that here for now. So we'll be taking off on 31 left, so we'll probably making a right turn and flying the set out. Now the Learjet has no steering tiller, so what you're doing here, you're using the foot pedals and via the linkage, Of course, that's what gives you directional guidance using the using the using the nose wheel. You can also use a little asymmetric thrust if you have the dual throttles. That tends to help a little bit, especially in like the tight turns. And other than that, I mean, she taxis pretty good. We'll cross the runway, and then I believe we'll make a right turn. This is when having the FO will help a lot. That way they can get your strobes on, and because realistically we would have to stop here and get permission to cross. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and assume that we already have permission, so we're just gonna boogie on across the runway here. Alright, but yeah, this guy has two Garrett turbofan engines on her, and she is a bullet. I mean, a bullet. Takeoff happens pretty quick, and the flap schedule is fairly short on this one, so I mean, it's not long at all. You're bringing up flaps, and you'll be above 10,000 feet in no time. Alright, bring the engines down to a nice little jog. And while we're doing that, go ahead and try to adjust my eye point a little bit. And we'll also go ahead and arm our thrust reversers. Leave it to Learjet be weird, but yeah, in order to use your thrust reversers, you gotta make sure those are armed. You also have to do it in the CRJ, so it's not uncommon, but if you're used to flying other aircraft, it is a little awkward. But yeah, I think we're fairly heavy. I think we got like 2,000 pounds on board or something like that. 1,000 pounds on board, cruise altitude about 39,000. And I think the weather is somewhat cleared up down there. So I don't foresee us having to shoot any kind of crazy approaches or anything. But I don't know though, that can change, especially with the humidity and the tendency for storms to just pop up randomly in the south. It tends to happen quite often, especially this time of year. And not sure many, well, I'm sure most everybody knows by now, hurricane that hit down there as well. I say down there, but Houston and the surrounding area. But I believe most of that is moved on or dissipated. Yeah, so we'll be getting out of here just before it turns dark. Now, one thing I did notice with this airplane, you have to keep quite a bit of power in it on taxi. Now, this could be contributed to Lockheed Martin's lovely depiction of ground friction in play, or this could be inherent to the airplane. I can't really tell you for sure. But she does take quite a bit of thrust to stay moving. And rotate, I believe VR is on this airplane is about $1.20, so we'll search for that and climb out. And we'll climb at about 2:30. That's the plan. Alright, so getting fairly close here. So I'm trying to make a little quick scan and attempt to stay on the center line at the same time. Alright, so that's on. Generators are connected. It's getting kind of late, so I'll go ahead and turn on my taxi lights. Realistically, you'd want to keep your taxi lights on, especially in the larger airports, like anytime you're moving the airplane. Not so much to kind of help you, but also help other airplanes see you and see you, know that you're moving. But it's okay to be lazy sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. Alright, now that we've taxied halfway to Louisiana, we'll go ahead and go ahead and brake just a smidget. Wee bit. There we go. Tower. Alright, so we got clearance. Alright, cool. Basically vectors out. Alright. Gotcha. Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn on our landing lights. And normally we would probably taken the active by now and left, but being that we're by ourselves, we want to make sure that we got everything set before we take off, because I guess a good and bad thing about this airplane is that a lot happens very fast, and you want to try to stay ahead of the airplane as much as possible. So a little bump there. Just myself. Air pilot. Hey, how's it going? Alright, get on the center line there. Alright, take off. Pull forward on the up there. Got takeoff power set. Airspeed alive. Alright. Okay, woo. Alright, gear up. Alright, go ahead and reduce the power there, add a little trim. Alright, we'll make a left turn. We'll pretend that we got vectors and we'll go ahead and make us a left turn there. And try to watch our speed coming out of 245 and knocking on 250 really quick, so we want to pay attention to that. Trim up just a little bit. And set my heading bug. Hey Pikachu, how's it going, man? Yeah, I seen you earlier. Sorry about that. Alright. Alright, let's see if we can get Auto to help us out a little bit. We'll go ahead and arm it down here. And we'll go ahead and arm our heading mode. And we can probably keep about 2,000 per minute. So we'll go ahead and arm our vertical speed mode at the same time and engage that. And that'll give us the opportunity to focus on navigating. And we're knocking right on 250. It doesn't take much in this airplane at all. Does not take much in this airplane. Alright. Unsuspend. And we'll go ahead and dive into the flight plan there. Actually, we'll do this here. My nav mode. There we go. Yep, enter, activate. And now she should capture it. And bring in a little power. And I typically try to climb at about 90%. On your thrust indicator there. Turbine speed of use about 90 to 91 gives me a good ascent rate. Alright, so right now we're flying the Learjet 4 departure out. Basically what you would normally do in this situation. You'll take off, air traffic control will give you vectors out, and normally you'll kind of peel off to the left and they'll get you in between Grand Prairie there and DFW and give you a direct to or something like that. Most of the times it's like direct to Thor or wherever the heck that intersection is, but in this case we just did SRAM, if that's what you call it, something like that. Alright, so of course amongst all that we would have done our after takeoff checklist, climb checklist, and all that fun stuff, but that's okay. Alright, go ahead and turn on the windshield. Our windshield heat on there. The autopilot on this thing is a little antiquated, for lack of better terms. So don't expect to just be able to press the button and it follows whatever. You do have to set the throttles, but the power settings on this particular airplane are very, very, very simple, and they tend to be pretty accurate. So once you get the hang of the power settings, she's not too terribly bad. And actually what I'm probably going to do here is increase our vertical speed. So what we do, how we do that, we'll go ahead, we'll disengage the vertical speed button there, and we'll just adjust our trim just a little bit. And disengage the autopilot, and I'll normally let her track, let my flight director track it, and then we'll re-engage it, and she tends to hold it nicely right there. And she's following Shram around. And we are en route. Like I said, you know, not the most graphically pleasing to the eye. I mean, it looks good to me. But I have heard, you know, some complaints of people talking about, you know, oh, it's too cartoonish or whatever. I mean, it works and it keeps the frames down, which is, you know, pretty important when it comes to immersion factor. But other than that, I mean, pretty simple to set up there. You do have to turn on the autopilot here. This applies power to the autopilot unit, and then of course you would arm it down here. The radar, I use the Captain Sim radar unit. This airplane is compatible with the Milviz radar, Reality XP, I think still Captain Sim, but I have yet to see Captain Sims available for P3D just yet. So right now we're rolling with other radar, our radar system. So yeah, definitely don't want to tell the FAA about that, but hopefully they should have it released soon, and I will once again be compliant with the regs. Alright, so we'll go ahead and shallow out. Oops. A little bit, and let's see, try to catch about 2,500. It should give me 25. Alright, and we'll re-engage auto right there. And go ahead and alt cell. That'll give us, that'll allow us to catch 39,000 feet, which is what we want. Alright, so she's making that turn there. In case you want to check it out on the outside, there she is there. I still have the recognition lights on, but let's see, let's go ahead and turn those recs off and turn that off. Well, but like the cabin, I mean, it's a full cabin, not really much to see. Like I said, you know, you can throw, I think there should be a load back here. Yeah, there is. It's just not displayed, but you can throw a load back there. Close that. So, I mean, pretty slick. Of course, that's a flight deck up front. I believe this is just kind of, this would normally be the head or the toilet, whatever you want to call it, in corporate configuration, but for, I guess, its purposes here, it would just be an extra seat, just somebody non-revving or something like that, I'm assuming. Dive up front there. Add a little more power. Shallow up this scent here just a little bit. Shallower. Shallow it up just a little bit. catch a little airspeed. There we go. Shallow up the ascent a wee bit. And we'll hold like 800 or something like that for right now. Should be fine. I believe these lights are dimmable. You know what? Nope. There is. I think they are, but I don't have. Well, maybe. I think there are. Let's see here. And actually, while we're doing that, go ahead and head on over to our charts for New Orleans. Oh, not gonna show me. So let's go there. Let's see here, airport chart. But of course, if you just in case you guys haven't seen the layout of New Orleans airport, this is what she looks like there. So you got runway 29, runway 2, runway 11. I think it's still runway 10 on the sim, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is actually 10. So that'll be a little deceiving on approach, but yeah, I believe it's runway 10 on the sim. So just gotta be mindful of that. And once we get a little closer, we can pull up ADAS information and see what the winds are favoring. Got some vertical development right at 11 o'clock, seems like. Little vertical development. Let's see if we can catch. See if we can get. It goes about 1,500 foot. If we can get 1,500 foot per minute, I think we'll be. Whoops. I think we'll be cooking with gas. Alright, let her line that right there and give her back to auto. She's gonna make some corrections real quick. That's cool. That's cool. I just want to increase that rate of ascent. I'd like to try to clear that top before we before we go careening through that. I see an anvil there, 11 o'clock. Got Winter, 10 o'clock. They're definitely firing off this evening. But that's the norm in the South. You'll if you got any low level flying to do in the South during the summertime, you definitely want to do it before in the evening, because especially like during the really hot days during the summer, all that heat builds up and during the day, and on top of that you're dealing with bloody 90 to 100% humidity, and it builds up, and around 6:30, 7 o'clock that evening, you got yourself a good shower, and that is the norm for this time of the year. So that's something to be mindful of. Ooh, what an awesome time not to have an inoperative radar system. Yay. Now, if we're in the real world system, this was a real world situation. We'll be able to dive into our serious exit weather here and get some weather info. But being that we're in the confines of the sim, but it's all good. Looks like she's trying to level out at 390, I think. Yep, she is. So I'm gonna give her a little bit here, get up to her cruising speed. I believe try to hit as close to the Mach 8 as I possibly can. Right now we're about to pass Mach 0.7, which is 0.7 the speed of sound for the uninformed. So right now we're at 94% on the power. I'm gonna start walking that back though, because she's still gonna build even after we reduce power. So we'll bring her back to about 80-ish, around that range, about 80, or anywhere between 85 to 90%. I found to be a decent power setting for cruise. And you can kind of juggle it. Of course, you can kind of juggle it from there, you know, but 88%, you know, 39,000 feet. Now can give you almost almost 0.79, 0.8. I mean, that's good. That puts you at about 474 knots. So yeah, that's booking it. I don't care who you are, that is booking it. So we're just now coming to the Louisiana border, and we still got to make our way south there towards LSU and Voodoo and all that. So still got a ways to go. And in fact, since we're not really using that, what we can do, we can kind of zoom out. And now it's not going to show our flight plan. Now what we could do, bring the power back a wee bit. What we could do, being that this is the non-controlling unit, right now the autopilot is not looking at this unit, we can jump to our flight plan display here. And since we saved it, and it's not there, create a new catalog. It sucks. I thought I was looking at the same database, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's not. So yeah, just to kind of help in your situational awareness, you can always kind of zoom out right there, and that'll be a good tool for your crossfield. I mean, for your dual units. Walk the power back just a little bit. We'll view outside. But yeah, very slick airplane. The range on this thing's around 2,000 miles with these tip tanks full. I don't think the tip tanks are full on this one. I think I just did the center and the wing. I'm not sure. Actually, no, I digress. The tip tanks are full. Center is empty. Tip tanks, wings are full. Center is empty. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn on our instrument lights. I tend to kind of like a dark panel. So I mean, you can crank up the floods and all that. I mean, that's cool, but I tend to kind of like a dark panel, so we'll leave that off for right now. But we'll go ahead and turn these on. So yeah, we're right there on the barber pole. And right now our power setting's about 86%. And we'll set that to night. and we're just about to cross the border. Should be pretty soon. But yeah, back to the CRJ. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware. AKRacing released a huge update for their CRJ 700 and their 900. Now that's all well and fine. That's awesome. They did add a lot of features, but for some reason, the in my opinion, the most pertinent, the easiest fixes they seem to kind of like, I guess, skipped over. Like for example, when you're pulling up to the gate, normally the gate should mate up with the door, and it doesn't. Well, somebody was nice enough to post a fix for it, and it's pretty close. But somebody was nice enough to post a fix for it, which is great. And one would assume, AKRacing would, put in their own fix and have it ready for the next update. Well, you uninstall your previous version, install the new version, and lo and behold, the fix isn't there. And on top of that, some of the bug fixes that were supposed to alleviate the issues with being able to hide your yoke. I mean, this is simple. I mean, turn there. I mean, how hard is that? But for whatever reason, now I'm not saying, the programming and I'm not saying their programming sucks or anything like that. I'm assuming they're trying to take a different route than most developers with the handling of the yoke and how it works. And I can only guess that they're having some difficulties with it. So, yeah, so that's still not fixed. Let's see, what else isn't fixed? There were some issues with the VNav. I hear that are still not fixed. Now, I haven't experienced this problem, but a lot of people, in case you jumped in and you're wondering, like, what the heck he's talking about, I'm not talking about this guy. I'm actually referring to the AKRacing CRJ 700 and 900. But what was I saying? Yeah. So, but people are still having problems tracking. Like, the thing can't follow a flight plan. I mean, as you can clearly see, we are rock solid on our flight path. I mean, this is solid. Yeah, they're solid. But yeah, people are still having problems just, flying a simple flight plan, and so that's still a nagging issue. There's been a lot of small issues, and I keep saying it, I don't necessarily point fingers at the developer, more so than the actual beta testers, and I say that because I mean that's kind of where the rubber meets the road. That's where that's where the issues, a lot of the blatant issues are found. And I mean, I don't know who in the heck they use. It may be one or two people involved, but I mean, I can't help but to wonder sometimes if they just want the freaking aircraft, or they just want to be the first ones to see the aircraft. And, if you want to shoot me a dislike on, on that, that's cool. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. But, I mean, if it took a couple extra days to get it out, sure, I'm cool with that. As long as it's right. But I mean, for a new version to be released, and people are still having those same nagging issues. It's kind of like, seriously, like nobody thought to kind of look at that. I don't know, just wondering. So. Yeah, that's probably one of the main reasons why you guys didn't see me in the CRJ tonight, because I was a little let down. To be honest with you, I'm glad they took the project on, and I'm glad they got it to the point to where it's at now. But I mean, it could be, in my opinion, on a totally different level if they would just fix just basic stuff. I mean, just have the gate match up with the freaking door. I mean, how? I mean, copy and paste what somebody put in the form, paste that into the aircraft CFG file, repackage it in the installer, and send it out. I mean, that's one fix done right there, and nobody's paying attention to that. So I don't know. Whatever. Who am I to say? But even despite all that, kudos to Aerosol um, for getting the thing out. I know I'm sure the project was, of course, running well behind schedule, and they did what they had to do. So they're just gonna have to pick up the pieces, And I mean, I think Matthias and the crew can do that. I think they're up for the challenge. So we just have to see where it goes. But on a lighter note, word on the street says that a MD-11 might be hitting P3D version 4. I hope soon. I don't know when, but just came across it on the ABSIM forums that I'm going to try to pronounce this. Lord help me if I butcher it. Leonardo, who put out an MD-80 series simulation years ago for like FlightSim 9, FlightSim 2004, for you guys who aren't familiar with it. And it was revolutionary. It was one of those, if you could port over into P3D or something like that, people were trying to port it over to in the FXX. I mean, which they did. I mean, heck, I was one of them. But I mean, just a phenomenal simulation. I mean, it was doing things that, in FS9 that, wasn't heard of for the time. And, all of a sudden, I mean, the guy just dropped off the map. He was, I mean, you would assume that, he would push an update for FXX, but never did. Just kind of dropped off the map. And, I happened to be on ABSIM forums today and saw a preview video. I'm like, are you serious? So I'm really looking forward to that. I have no idea when it's dropping. I mean, it could be a year from now. It could be 6 months from now. I don't know. But man, we are moving 477 knots. Just about to hit Sawmill. Booking it. But yeah, I don't know when it's going to be released, but all I know is when it is released, 80% of the flight simulation community is going to be purchasing that. Like all I know is I hope their servers are up to the task, because that's going to be groundbreaking, huge. And yeah, I mean, so it should be a pretty good year for flight simulation. Pretty good year. But I know a lot of people have been saying some good things about FlySimWorld, so excuse me, I might be checking that out eventually. There's so many out there though. Aerofly is one of them. I think Orbx has a huge hand in that. FlySimWorld, I think Orbx has a hand in that as well. Just a lot of sims out there right now. Just so much to try and so much to do. X-Plane 11 is looking just as amazing as ever. Oh yeah, just to kind of show you there. So we're holding by 85%, and we've been holding by 85% for a while now. And she gives you about right at 0.79. So that's a pretty good power setting. Now that gets you a pretty decent ground speed. Now, mind you, we probably got a little bit of a tailwind as well, but a pretty decent ground speed. So, very easy to set the power settings on the Lear. It doesn't take much chasing at all. Initially it's a little unsteady, but once she settles out, she flies nicely. You can just about get up to go, have a snack or grab you a drink of water or whatever, and not worry about the power. But yeah, so just a lot going on right now. The only thing that kind of unnerves me is I was hoping to see a Cirrus for flight sim, but I don't think anybody's gonna take it on. I know Eaglesoft put out one some years back, and I think they're also working on a Challenger, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Eaglesoft to me is just, they're a great developer for flight sim and have been for quite some time, but I'm almost afraid by the time they release the Challenger, it would almost look obsolete. That's kind of the feeling I get when I look at Aerosoft CRJ, is that the panel, though, especially the overhead, like the switches, they look somewhat dated, like they've like the model was done freaking 4 years ago, and it's just now getting, just now seeing the light of day. I don't know. It's not. I don't care, but it's still kind of the feeling I get. And some of the screenshots, especially for their, they have another citation that's coming out, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but they've had screenshots for it for, years, and we still, haven't seen it. So, hopefully, we'll see it come to light soon. Because I will say a Challenger would be awesome for flight sim. Would be freaking awesome. Alrighty, let's see. I would cheat and check the weather or something. You know what? We're just gonna go to aviationweather.gov. Aviation weather.gov, and give me the latest METAR for New Orleans. Yeah, I'm looking at the Prague chart, and it looks pretty good. So hopefully we shouldn't have any issues. All right, so wind speed is coming out of the west. I need an actual METAR. Coming out of the west at 8 miles an hour. I need the actual heading. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. A tropical depression Harvey moves into Mississippi Valley on Thursday. Yay, more rain. Man, that storm was a monster. Holy cow. I think they said Houston got 40 something inches of rain or something like that. Just ridiculous amounts of rain. Alright, making this right turn here towards Sawmill. And we can jump here into our flight plan page, and it'll give us a rough estimates about 170 out. Being that we're at 39,000 feet, there's a formula you can run it. Actually, this unit is capable of calculating that for you. So what we can do, well, we can say, actually, I really would like to throw a runaway in there. Let me tell you what, let's do this. Let's go to our charts. There's MSY there. Zoom in. And we're probably going to be on 2.9, so we'll be coming. Okay, it will be coming from the west. So probably do like a right downwind or a left downwind, either ones, depending on what the traffic's doing. So if it's coming out of the west, we probably would be taking like runway heck, it would be taking 2.9. Okay, that's a lot better. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll be taking 2.9. So we'll do like a left or right now wind and normal base to final, and that should do nicely. So we'll go ahead and pick 2.9 for now as our landing runway. Of course, we'll verify that with some current ATIS information as soon as we get to that point. So let's go ahead and come down here, and I'll hope that's not too loud for you guys, because these little mouse clicks on the unit here are kind of loud for me. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll do a GPS approach. We'll do 2.9 there, and yeah, we'll do vectors. We'll load it, but we won't activate it for right now. We'll leave it off there. Let's see, final approach fix will be breeze. Go figure. Alright, so go here. Target altitude 1,000 foot above waypoint, and we'll pick breeze there. So right now with that profile, it's saying if we stick about 1,800 foot per minute, that should put us about 1,000 foot above this guy here. So I mean, not bad. Not bad at all. And then we can enter any foot per minute we want, and give us our descent there. Actually, we probably want to be starting our descent here anyway. 162 miles out. I'll wait a little bit. But yeah, definitely a lot going on. This is probably parts of that tropical depression as well, so might be a little interesting on descent. But according to the weather, looks pretty good, so we shall see. 10% chance of thunderstorm. Check the task. Yeah, so interesting. Take you guys outside so you can see what she looks like at night. I do like the little I'm sure one of those is probably the radar altimeter down the bottom. It's pretty cool. Now, if you guys do like old school, there is a Learjet 2.5 out there from Extreme Prototypes that's also pretty sexy. I just haven't had the opportunity to buy it yet. So let's go ahead and dive on in here and see what we got going on. Buck 50 out. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and start our descent. So go ahead and bring that power back. Bring her back just a little bit. And let some of that old airspeed bleed off. Alright, bleed off a All right, so like I said, this autopilot's a little tricky, but what you do here is go ahead and set your, and we're just going to go ahead and set it to our final approach fixed altitude. Other way, other way, other way. Or not. We're not gonna do that. We're not going to do that. All right. Oh my gosh. I was just gonna start the descent and dial in here in a minute. All right, there we go. Hey SM, how's it going, bud? All right, so we'll go ahead and disengage that autopilot hold. Hey Billy, how's it going, man? And initiate that descent. And try to catch about 2,000 per minute. And what I'll do here, I'll trim her out for about 2,000 per minute. Oh, pretty good, bud. How's it going, man? Alright, go ahead and disengage that guy and re-engage it. Hope y'all have been doing well. Alright. Good to hear. Alright, yeah, this guy can be a little temperamental, so we'll nudge it. And let's see if she'll give us 2,000. Alright, so you'll notice the move there from the flight director. And once we do that, we should be able to re-engage it. And there she goes. And of course we'll alt sail for 3,000 feet. And then we can also verify our vertical speed by going to our utilities page and VCalc, and it'll say 1,800 minute, 1,800 feet per minute, and then it'll give you like a little ballpark figure of when you'll be at our target waypoint and breeze. Now this is more or less like a calculator. It's not any sort of VNAV functionality whatsoever in the unit, but it's just a good way to calculate your descent profile. All right, so we're getting pretty close there to LSU. I'll tell you what, the icing on the cake on the if we could have an icing on the cake on like this whole unit. I mean, this unit is already great, but if they could just figure out a way to get weather on here, I mean, I'd pay $100 for this. I mean, of course, this wasn't $100, but I would literally pay $100 for this. I mean, of course, that probably never happened, but I mean, it would be pretty cool. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of weather in the area, so it's gonna be pretty interesting on the descent. I kind of figured it because we'll still have the tropical depression in the area, so it's made flying fairly interesting over the past few days. I know Houston is probably going to be shut down for quite some time. So just be sure you keep those guys down there in your thoughts and prayers, because they're still trying to flow the water out of the city as fast as they can, but they don't want to flood the communities that are downstream who live near the bayou, and yeah, it's pretty bad down there, so pretty bad. Alrighty, so we're getting pretty close to LSU. Whoa. That us? Yeah, I think it was us. And yeah, like I said, we have no radar, so yeah, there'll be no navigating for us. It'll just be seeing the void. But we're just gonna go ahead and just slam right on through it. My goodness. Go ahead and reduce that power. I don't want to exceed her. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get from around the sky here. Ooh, that's nasty. There's some nastiness in those clouds, folks. Alright, I've got a little power. And I think all of those are CBs there, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, man, it's gonna be. Let's see where our track's looking like. Let's probably go back to auto right now. We'll have to watch our speed so we don't exceed the max turbulent airspeed for this thing. Just trying to look, and kind of tough to tell. Now I don't know if you guys remember it, but I said, you know, we'll be fine. We don't need radar today. And yeah, I would kill for radar right now. Because I think all that right there is nothing but nastiness. Our left, down, and right, just a bunch of building CBs there. So we're gonna go ahead and get our heading mode ready. We might have to play some C in the void. Actually, I might have to do that right now. Go ahead and put this guy on heading mode. Add a little power. Let's see what I'd like to do. See if we can kind of go around that guy. At least miss the more severe sections of it. I'm gonna power back a little bit. I think we're gonna clip that one. Alright, what's our... Okay. Alright. A few bumps here and there, but not too terribly bad. Not as bad as it would have been if we just flew through the darn thing. Alright, so we're just gonna make a little bit of a left turn there. Woo! That was pretty nasty. That was pretty nasty. Make sure we keep an eye on that airspeed. Keep an eye on that airspeed. Alright, let's go ahead and continue our turn to the left. We'll do a heading of like 118 or 119, should be fine there. Just want to get around some of the worst of this stuff. This is Southern flying in the southeast United States, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta love it. Alright. So that should put us back on course, and yeah. Should be good there. Not too terribly worried about the smaller ones over there. Okay. Alright, so right now we're about 250 knots. Now what I would like to do, amongst the fact of trying not to die, is dialing in that ATIS. Let's see, what kind of frequency? Yes, there are. User. Oh goodness. How far are we? Oh, Dad. And we're still a good ways away. Oh, let's go ahead and do altitude hold for right now. Add some power. Well, outside view, in case you guys are wondering. Yep, just pass through all that. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue our descent. Let me verify our distance real quick. Alright, we're up there, about 60 miles. Okay. Let's see if we can descend on down to 12,000. Right there. Okay, cool. Alright, so vertical speed mode. Actually, let's go ahead and do this here. And reduce that power. Nose starts to drop there. We'll catch about 1,500 foot per minute. See if she'll give it to me. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. A little power. I think we should be clear of the rough stuff. A little more power. Yeah, that was some nasty stuff back there. Let's see, we'll do about 80%. All right, looks like we're passing Addad. And there's runway 29 over there. All right. Give me some frequencies. Thank you. There we go. All right, so hopefully when we do that, we'll start another descent after Voodoo, and get us nice and set up for the downwind for 29er. All right. I love how 750 overlays the approach there. I can't tell you how many times I would have killed for that. Not literally, you know, but yeah. That is pretty cool though. But actually, we might not even shoot that. You know, if it, especially if it's, you know, I believe the visibility is like 10 miles out there. We may not even shoot it. We may just do just a standard visual for 2.9, but it's nice to have something loaded in there just in case. You know, get rained out or something like that. You always have that to fall back on. Few bumps there. Looks like we're getting over crossing. Alright, so what we'll do, looks like it's trying to fly breeze. We don't want to fly breeze right now. I actually want to fly the downwind, so we'll put her back in heading mode. But I do kind of want to fly like a 070 heading. Yeah, we'll do 080. Fly 080, start bringing our power back and stay below 250, and we'll descend to 6,000 feet. Go ahead and bring down our altitude selector to 6,000. Disengage the altitude hold. As we reduce that power, we'll look at our vertical speed here. I'm not touching the yoke at all. And what we'll do, we'll wait to about between 15 to 2,000 is fine with me. And we'll go ahead and put it right down there, and there we go. Easy peasy, super easy. Like I said, there's no pitch dial or anything to this aircraft. Basically, you know, you just fly your descent rate and hit the vertical speed button, and it holds it. So pretty straightforward. Nothing. No electronic wizardry to have to get used to. Alright, so we're gonna come off our planned path there, which is fine. Like I said, we're not trying to track it or anything like that. We're gonna come off our planned path and make a right turn and parallel the runway a little bit, and then we'll just we'll do a visual approach. Should be fine. Should be fine. I do need to change. I believe there's a way I can change that icon there. So it almost looks like a turboprop, and this is far from it. Or maybe that's just me being petty. I think it's just me being petty. Being petty, stalker. Shut up. Fly the airplane. Okay. All right. So it's like we're like right at. Looks like we're right at 250. Literally right at it. So right now we're crossing over a lake. Pontchartrain. I always screw it up. I've lived around the area all my life, and I always screw up the name. But yeah, we're crossing that now. So matter of fact, it's a ginormously long bridge over there. Hey, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and take control and actually do some work. And normally, since we're below 10,000, we'll turn those recognition lights on, which you can see to our left and right. And we're 1,000 above. I believe that's the Lake Charles Regional, or for 12 o'clock. We're not looking for that. We're looking for 2-9, which we should be coming off here just in a little bit. And while we're thinking about it, we'll go ahead and arm our thrust reversers. And see if we can get some other information. All right. So of course FlightSim calls it 2.8, but you and I both know we're looking at 2.9. So we'll go ahead and start working our way down there. Good old awesome New Orleans skyline. I lived about 60 miles from here, I think. But believe it or not, like most of my food expeditions took place around a place called Slidell, Louisiana, which had some amazing daiquiris, shrimp po' boys, all the seafood you can possibly handle. I never had any. Honestly, I never really, other than beignets, of course, never really had a good food experience in New Orleans, the actual town of New Orleans, for some reason. Maybe I just didn't know where to go. I don't know. Alright, go ahead and work on slowing down here. I'm just going to go ahead and idle up the engines. And normally what I do, especially flying at night, I like to use my DG to kind of make sure the runway I'm looking at is about oriented to the runway I'm supposed to be landing on. So I know if we're landing on 2A or 29, it's going to be west. So you kind of look there. There's the runway facing west. So we know that's about what we're looking for. All right. So if I can just get down to flap speeds, I can start dumping some altitude. All right. I'm right there on the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and dump that first notch of flaps. Hopefully there's not a Saints football game going on. If there is, I am busting all kinds of airspace. So we're going to go ahead and turn. And throw my gear down. Get some of that right rudder in there. A little nose up trim to help me out. I'm at a little power. I might overshoot just a little bit. That's cool. I'm not too worried about that. I need to burn off some airspeed anyway. I'm going to go ahead and throw in a notch of flaps. And I know some of you are wondering, like, well, he said he's bringing on his airspeed, but he's adding power. I'm using power to control my altitude. I'm using pitch to control my airspeed. So I'm trying to keep my pitch up to keep my airspeed low, but at the same time, I'm also using power to control my altitude. Add some more flaps there. And landing lights down. And final notch flaps. Alright, that's already down there. Cool. A little power there. I'm kind of low, but that's fine. We'll make up for it here in a little bit. I'm going to keep my nose up. And keep that vertical speed down. And we'll kind of catch the proverbial glide path. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to start working that power out. Try to keep about 140, 130, somewhere around there. I really need to get some speed charts for this thing, but once you kind of feel the airplane settle on a good glide path, you can kind of get an idea what VREF you need. Oh, we're not sinking. Well, we're landing, not sinking. Got a little bit of a crosswind, not too much though. I'm trying to keep a little crab in, but I think it's too much. A little power in there. Right rudder.
500, 500.
Oh my gosh, that's loud. Power. We don't have much wing, so gotta use those engines to keep enough keep enough air going over those little stubby wings we got. Those touchdown aiming point markers there. We're working that power out. A little flare. and walk it out. A little break there. All right. And it's got to find a place to park somewhere. There we go. Oh, stupid steering lock. I need to set up a key command for that. Yep. In order to, like I said before we took off, in order to manipulate the nose, we'll gotta have your steering lock on. So, can't tell you how embarrassing that is to come to a complete stop on the runway only to find that you forgot to press the steering lock button. Don't ask me how I know. Alright, so go ahead and clean up the airplane. We don't need you anymore, so we'll go ahead and disarm you. Taxi lights on. If I can get to the strobe light without killing myself. Alright. Alright, being that I have no idea where to park this thing, we're just going to park right across the way here. And put her up for the night. And gonna make a little turn off ride. Alrighty. Alright, we'll put her about right here. That's close enough. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and turn off our avionics. We don't want to mess those up. And we'll go ahead and put these guys off there. Beacon light off. Leave nabs on. All this lovely stuff off here. Kind of playing it by ear. Throttle pump off, stall warning off, all that fun stuff off there. And there you guys have it. Awesome trip. Got a little exciting towards the end, but you know what? I would not have it any other way. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, FlySimWare, Learjet 3.5, and all of its awesome bland glory. Those of you painters out there, I would love to see an AirNet livery in this. I would love you forever. Just saying. Not like weird love, but you know what I'm saying. I love you forever. All right, guys. Till next time. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, or comment to your heart's desire. And just be careful out there. And if you can't be good to yourself, be good to each other. And we'll see you later.